and welcome to round 14 of the Thursday Night GT Championship by RaceDepartment on PS4 Project Cars. Let's set everything right and let's see who's going out first. So here we are with Benji. He's one of the first on track for the qualifying session for the 2-hour endurance race. This is the last race of 2017 before we hit our Christmas break, and we'll see who will be on top after this. There's a slight change in the layout. Well, this is the official GP layout, or the GT Strecke, as they say in German, with the tight chicane in the last sector. We're going to do it a bit differently, and you'll see that when Benji is approaching the chicanes. We are taking the chicanes that are used for the 24-hour endurance races. This is because the curves were very high, and we are racing with current situations, weather situations. We actually set the date not to December 21st in game, but November 24th because of the weather and the temperatures. So it's a bit drivable with these GT3 machines. You can see that Benji is taking a shortcut if you're using the official track, but this is just going to be slightly faster, and due to the weather conditions and the very high curbs, a lot of people were spinning out, so there was decided that we'll be using the faster chicane. Okay, so as you can see, most people have done their their warm-up lap, their out lap, and have probably begun their first official timed lap. There will be quite some different liveries to opposed to last race. The last race was the first race after patch 3 has been out. There had been a lot of changes as well, mainly in the balance of performance. So that shifted the whole field, where the most drivers before the patch were driving either the Ferrari or the McLaren. The Ferrari is now so overpowered that it has been banned from the league. So most people have now switched to the Audi, which is not per se the fastest car around, but overall handling, it is one of the better cars. Last week there were, I think, about half of the drivers were in an Audi. The biggest problem was that most people had very similar liveries, and that was kind of a problem for other drivers, as well for me in a commentating position. So some of the guys have changed to another livery, so for me it's a bit of a guess. It's a good thing that we have the timing sheet on the left, so I can see who's who, because I sure don't know all the liveries by ahead now. So let's see how's everyone doing. As we can see, Oz has the current pole. And he is doing a 153.3, followed by Liam, who is a second slower. Oz is still on track, so let's see how he's doing. Here we'll have a better view of the chicane we're taking. Usually your braking point is around here, 200 meters, but now we're taking this chicane. Usually with rules and penalties on, that would be impossible to take because the computer would not list your lap time. But we have turned the rules off, as we usually do, because we don't think the rules are good enough for actual racing. For instance, if you have to go wide to avoid a collision, you can get a penalty for 5 or 10 seconds, which is totally unfair. So that's why we turn it off. And we have each other. If you see someone go wide a lot or pushing one off, we have a stewards thread on our forums where drivers can report someone to the stewards, because obviously we don't have race control who has data on all cars. And like I said before, the penalty system is just it doesn't work, the rules and regulations and penalties. So that's why we turn them off. And we have a hotspot that's a point that will be checked will be checked after every race for every lap, and it is the fast chicane. Cutting there, well, it's not very wise to do. On the tighter chicane, there was that's cutting, so you can cut. But if you do that on a hotspot, you only have about a couple laps, which you can do that. And if you cross the maximum amount of cuts or going wide, you'll be getting penalty points or seconds. So we'll be here for the next 2 hours and 15 minutes approximately. This is the qualifying session, which lasts 20 minutes, and we still have 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go, with Oz still in the lead, followed by Liam, who's gotten closer with 0.6, almost 0.7 seconds behind Oz, closely followed by Gaz in third. Adam is 1.6 seconds away from Oz with a 154.7. In fifth currently is Ben Milden, who we can see here in the 33 Lamborghini with the Demon Tweaks livery. In sixth we have Benji, Boy Racer, in the 43 Audi. In seventh currently we have Scooby in the 78 Lamborghini. He is Ben Milden's teammate. Here we have a flashing Jamie. He is the only one in the Mercedes. It's a great car. It's just not very good at making sharp turns. During practice sessions, Jamie had a lot of problems going through turn 1, which is a very tight hairpin, of course, going down and right. So he had a lot of problems there. I hope he solved it a bit and he will be able to make the turn now. But we'll just stick around to see if he does. We could also join him on the roof, or let's get in the cockpit. And here we go, almost at turn 1. He is making the turn, but you can see that the Mercedes, it's a great machine with a lot of power, especially on a straight line, but sharp turns aren't its best feature. Okay, so let's get back to the trackside view. Well, we had the top 7. We had Jamie. Here's Ramsey, Killer Ramsey in the Audi. He is in a new livery. And we'll have to see which number it is. This is the number. Can't see it yet. Probably able to see it here. The number 9 Audi. Then we have Jeremy. Knight 4001 actually, in the number 2 Audi. Gorgeous livery, by the way. Here's Skanky hidden behind a wall in the pit box. He is also in an Audi. Can't tell you the number yet. And here we have Diogo, also in a Mercedes, so I stand corrected. He is in the blue number 9. So we have 2 number 9s then. But there are different cars, so that'll be okay. He is currently last with 3.9 seconds away from Oz. We still have 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Let's follow Gaz for a bit. He is currently in 3rd, and he has been the champion for the last couple of seasons, and started in the McLaren earlier this season. Usually in a regular season without huge changes to the game, drivers are allowed to change their car once. Due to the new patch and the huge changes to the GT3 class, people are allowed, everyone who was in a car that is now banned. So, for example, the Ferrari was able to make an extra switch. The McLaren wasn't bad, but it was just with the new balance of performance, wasn't strong enough anymore to compete. So Gaz, who was racing for the Spam Frizz Racing team, also triple constructor champions together with Liam, made the switch to the Audi. So Gaz is in the number 1 Audi, Liam is in the number 44 BMW. He is the only driver currently in a BMW. in the M6. Great car, pretty fast, and he's doing well between all the other Audis, because as you can see, Oz, who is really, really fast, who's been leading the last couple of races, he has an enormously fast pace in an Audi. Gaz in an Audi, Benji in an Audi, Adam in an Audi. So the top 5 is all Audi except for Liam, who's doing very, very well in this M6. It's a great car, especially with the new balance of performance. It's a good drive. It's stable, it's fast, some great straight line speed, and it turns, even though it's so big and pretty heavy. So yeah, great drive by Liam. Gaz just set a new personal best this qualifying and is now currently in second, only 0.6 away from Oz. So he will give Oz, definitely will give Oz a run for his money. 3.5 minutes to go, and currently, so like I said, the top 5 all Audi except for Liam. In 6th we have Ben. He has the flu past week, so he will have a tough time. You know, a usual race or a usual Thursday night is a feature race of about 40 minutes, followed by a sprint race of about 20 minutes. That is doable, but you know, if you're sick and you'll have to do a 2-hour endurance race, that is pretty heavy. Fortunately for Ben, this is 2-hour endurance on the GPU layout and not on the Nordschleife. We did the Nordschleife endurance 2 seasons ago, and I can tell you that's pretty heavy. I was driving then as well, and a 2-hour endurance around the Nordschleife with its 73 corners, that's pretty tough. Although after a couple of laps, well, possibly, I think for me it was like after an hour, you start to get in the zone, and you really know the track, and you really know each corner. So you're starting to go a bit on autopilot, which is very dangerous, because once you realize that, you start making mistakes. That's what happened to me 2 seasons ago in the Nordschleife. So with this layout, with what's it? I don't know how many corners this is. I'll just have to look that up. I think it's about 13. Let me see. Oh no, it's more. It's 16. So that's a lot easier. There are a couple of nice traits, not too long, not too short. This track, it's personally one of my favorite tracks. It has sharp turns, it has a couple of wide corners. I love the Schumacher S, especially in these cars. You can just go full throttle. And I love the elevation of it. I know that well, back when it was created, it was somewhere in the 80s, I think. a lot of people weren't too fond of the GP layout because they thought it was, the Nordschleife was too dangerous to race. So they created this. A lot of people thought it wasn't really a good track for racing. But I like the circuit. It's great for GT racing. Nordschleife is, of course, fantastic. And I'd love to see it come back to the TNGTC. But there were a lot of complaints about it because, especially on the Nordschleife, it's very hard to overtake. And Siri is reacting to my voice, so let's turn her off. There. Well, let's head back to the standings in the qualifying session. Benji is trying to improve his time and make it into the top 3. Will he do that? Nope. We have a couple of seconds to go. Oz is on pole, followed by Gaz, Liam in 3rd, Benji in 4th. 3rd row we have Adam and Killer Ramsey. Great drive by Ramsey. Here we have Ben Milden and Scooby on the 4th row. Both Scooby-Nato, Mildonato racing drivers. Then we have Jeremy and Jamie, Skanky and Diogo in the back. So that's the field for the 2-hour endurance at the Nürburgring, the Grand Prix Strecke. If you're watching and you have any questions, just go to live chat and don't be afraid to ask anything. I will be here for the next 2 hours, so any questions are welcome. Okay, so the time started already, but the drivers have 2 minutes to prepare for the race, to ready up. Very strange that time has started counting already. They have 2 minutes to set their pit strategies, which are very important during this endurance race. There are a couple of different strategies possible. You can start with a full tank and try to go as long as you can, and make a stop once for tires, do another stop, and refuel just enough to make it to the end. And with fresh tires, it depends all on how you manage your tires. Other strategy is go for a stint and fill up for one stint, but refueling takes a lot of time, so that's not very wise to do. You could also go with just enough fuel for your first stint, then switch tires and refuel for 2 more stints. It's just a matter of personal preference, but it's very important here. Well, here we are, and we're about to start. We are watching Oz. Too bad I can't see the whole field from here. And there we go. Oz is in the lead. He is defending the inside for turn 1. Sharp turn. Will everyone get through the turn unharmed? Looks quite good. And ooh, that was Diogo looking like he had some lag, and it was Skanky who did not benefit from that. He was hit from, looks like he was hit on the inside. Let's go back to the front, where Oz is still in the lead, followed by Gaz, Liam, Benji, Adam, Ben, Killer Ramsey. So Ben overtook Ramsey somewhere in the first sector, and it's all pretty close. It is pretty hard to overtake here. The chicane is a good spot, especially with the tight chicane, which we are not using, by the way. And here's Liam in the BMW, currently in third. I'll just throw in the map so you can see where all drivers are. And here you can see going through the fast chicane. And after one lap, it's Oz in the lead, closely followed by Gaz, followed by Liam, Benji, Adam in 5th, Ben in 6th, Ramsey in 7th, Jamie in 8th, Diogo and Matt or Skanky in 10th. And here something happened here with Jeremy and Scooby, who are now both in the back. So they probably must have spun, because I don't see any damage. Or it could be that damage was turned off for this race due to the weird curves in the chicanes. Let's head back to the front of the field. Oz is still in the lead by 1.5 seconds, but behind him and Gaz, we have Liam, and it's a kind of a Liam train. So we have Liam, here we are looking at Benji's Audi, followed by Adam, his teammate, Snakes Unite Racing. Oh, and Benji just spun, and as you can see is falling back far because they are all still so tight. And he is now in 11th place. That's such a shame. At the start of the race and now falling back so far. Let's continue. Here is a battle between Jamie and Adam. Let's see from the view inside Jamie's cockpit. He's going to move outside. Inside it's practically impossible in this machine. Trying the first switchback. Now on the outside for turn 2. Following closely, trying to dive the inside for turn 3, which is also very tight. Not enough room. Adam closed the door on him. Is still in front, but he's still close behind. There are a couple of places you could go. Try on the inside here. So looks like Adam held Jamie off pretty well. A little mistake from Jamie there, which gives Adam some more room to breathe, and here we are with Liam in third, and it looks like he is still close to Gaz. He is currently 1.3 seconds away. So Gaz is right in the middle, 2.8 seconds behind. So 2.8 seconds behind the race leader and 1.5 seconds in front of his own teammate. Well, Oz is he's just getting away here. After only 4 laps, he is in the lead by 3 seconds. Let's see how the guys here are doing. Jamie is still chasing Adam. He wants that 4th place. He wants to divide those Audis. And here is a battle on our hands. Something probably happened with Ben. Jamie passed, Skanky passed Ben. And right behind Ben is Diogo. Also in a Mercedes. So Ben is in a tough spot. He probably wants to claim his spot back from Skanky, and he's very close, but Diogo is right behind him. And there's quite some lag by Diogo, but he is still pretty close behind, which could be a problem for Ben. I mean, it's hard to defend and attack at the same time. And another lag by Diogo. I hope his connection will hold for the next 2 hours. And here we are with Ramsey, who started 6th and is now back in 10th. So there must have been some contact or spin, but he is right behind Scooby. Scooby went a bit wide there coming out of the final corner. Here we are, turn 1. It was just too far to get inside. As you can see, it's pretty hard to overtake because, especially in these parts, you don't have enough room for a good long piece of asphalt where you can get some drag, or actually get less drag by following another driver. And this is a nice spot, but you have to be side by side. I found that this is if you take the corner well here, he has a nice chance. He'd be able to do it. Braking really late, almost pushing Scooby wide, but he is past. Yes, and now on to one of the highest speed parts through the fast chicane, and did we see some flashing of the lights there? Is that just an in-game glitch, I don't know. Okay, let's get back to Ben, who is still behind. Oh, just almost spun it there. Coming into corner, the first corner. So he was close, but is now due to the spin a bit further away from Skanky. He's right in the middle between Skanky and Diogo. Now let's see how the race leader is doing, who is now in a 5-second lead on Gaz after 6 laps, so he's almost gaining a second per lap. And since the lap is about 2 minutes, so we'll be doing about 60, 70 laps. If he keeps this up, we'll be over a minute from Gaz, but you never know what happens. You don't know what his strategy is. Maybe Gaz will try an undercut. You never know. 2 hours is a pretty long time for non-stop drive. Here we are with Liam still in third, and he is pretty closely followed by Adam, who fended off Jamie. Sorry, back to Adam. So that's a great drive by the Snakes Unite driver. Let's go to the other Snakes Unite driver, the 43 Audi. Here's Benji, now going through turn 1. Because of the spin early on in the race, lap 2 or 3 maybe, he fell back from 4th all the way back to 11th. And that's a tough place to be in at the start of an endurance race. He might reclaim a few spots, but from here, I think 8th, 7th, maybe 6th position will be the most he could get out of this. That will possibly be because of driver errors, pit stops, spins, disconnects, all kinds of things. And we see that there is some action on track. Diogo is getting pretty close to Ben. Could Ben be struggling due to the flu he's been having? And as you can see, Diogo is really fast going through the gravel. He's teleporting away. That's just the lag. I hope it won't ruin anyone's race. We've seen a couple of weird accidents on track due to people's lag. And here we are with Skanky in the 63 Audi, currently in 6th place. As you can see here in the midfield, it is pretty close to each other. You can see that Jamie, Skanky, Ben, Diogo, Ramsey, Scooby, they are all only about 2 seconds away from each other. And we have a comment on the live chat. It's Seeks. He says, "Go Spam Fritters Racing." Spam Fritters are Gaz, who is currently in 2nd, and Liam in 3rd. Six is also a driver in the Thursday Night GT Championship who wasn't able to make it in time. And, well, like Ben always says, what I say is hashtag that's too bad. And Six just says, no, I meant Wooden Spoon, which is his own racing team. Well, yeah, I think he had a drink or two too many. No, it's just that's Wooden Spoon is his racing team, and Spam Fritters is Gas and Liam. I think that's some wishful thinking. Racing for Spam Fritters. Maybe next year, Six. Maybe next year. Okay, so let's go back to where the action is. As we can see, Ben is pretty close to Skanky now, so he gained some time. And we have some action in the back of the field. We have Benji, who is now currently in 11th place. He is in the last place. Apparently we lost Knight, who had a disconnect, or is he in the pits? No, he's not. He probably retired. Had a pretty bad start. But the guys in the back are all pretty close. You can see here, in one frame, you can see Benji just behind Scooby, who is in front of Killer Ramsey, and then Diogo, who is lagging away, which is pretty dangerous. I know from experience that overtaking a lagging driver, it's pretty dangerous. And as you can see, Ramsey is flashing his lights. He can't overtake Diogo because it's just dangerous. If he lags while you're beside him, you'll never know what's gonna happen. It ended my race in, what was it, Dubai, a couple seasons ago. Suddenly Liam had a huge lag at the beginning of the race, and he just lagged right into me, which just destroyed my engine. I had no front left whatsoever. So that's pretty dangerous. You can see he's letting most drivers by. He probably knows he's lagging. And we have another message on the live chat. It's Six. He says, "Great job though, Frank. Where's Lance?" Lance is one of the other drivers in the TNGTC. He was, and you can see that Diogo's lag is really horrible right now, which is pretty dangerous for Benji. This could turn out really bad. This is really not good. I hope he lets him by. Yes, he lags pun. Okay, so let's get back. Six asked where Lance is. Lance is another racer in the TNGTC, but due to some other obligations, he is not able to race full time. He was going to be the co-commentator tonight, which I was actually looking forward to pretty much, but yeah, it was a no-show, so he probably had something come up, and I'm doing this solo tonight. So thank you very much, Six. Trying my best to cover the race and just fill all the awkward silences. So let's get back to the race. You can still see A couple of guys pretty close to each other. Benji now in 9th position. And Diogo has left. So now 10 drivers left. So if they all finish, every driver will have a couple of points. Well, at least 2 points. Because of this endurance race, drivers will get double points. So if you end up last in the feature race, or I mean 10th, you get 1 point. And well, in the endurance race, because you get double points, you get at least 2 points. So if Killer Ramsey would finish right now, he would get 2 points, and we have an official statement that Diogo disconnected. So here we are with Benji, who is following Scooby very closely. Let's get back to the front with race leader Oz, who's currently started his 12th lap, going through turn 3 here, and he is now in a 7-second lead, so you can see that his lead isn't extending that much anymore. He is not gaining a second per lap anymore, and still followed by Gaz, who's in second. For Spam Fritters, it's a bit of a lonely spot here because he is 7 seconds behind Oz, and he is over 3 seconds in front of his teammate Liam. So he has some room for small mistakes. He should not spin, because that would definitely probably cost him a position. Only one, but knowing Gaz, I don't think he will spin out. He's a very good driver, very consistent. So here we are with Liam in third, like I said, just over 3 seconds behind Gaz, and in front of Adam by also 3.5 seconds. Once again, I must say he is doing very well in this BMW. It's too bad that most drivers switched to the Audi just after the patch. Some more diversity would be nice again, but you know, if the battles are better because they're all in similar cars, I'm all for it. It's too bad that there are only 9 drivers, so we just lost another driver. Let's see who that was. That was Killer Ramsey, disconnected. He was having some troubles, so I think he disconnected. So we have currently 1 BMW. We have we had 2 Mercedes before Diogo disconnected. So we have Jamie in the Mercedes. We have Diogo in the Mercedes. We have Ben Nilden here in the 33 Lamborghini. and Ramsey was also in. Scooby is also in the Lamborghini. So that's 5 cars out of the total 12 or 13 drivers we currently have in the league. And here we saw Scooby overtaking Skanky right before the fast chicanes, and he's just gone a bit wide. But he didn't lose his position. Okay, so that's 5 cars out of the 12 or 13 drivers that are currently not in an Audi. So over 50% is in an Audi. And that was a nice try by Skanky, but he just went too wide and had to give the position back to Scooby. Let's get on board with Matt, aka Skanky. So back to the Audi story. Siegs just tells me he was going probably for the Renault. The Renault RS01 GT3. The only car in the field with 7 gears instead of the usual 6 sequential in all the other GT3 cars currently available on Project Cars 2. Like I said, I would have liked to see some more diversity, just like in the real GT racing. I would like to see my personal favorites doing a bit better, which are the Mercedes, the AMG, but also the Nissan GTR, which is it's not my favorite GTR. My favorite Godzilla is the R34, but of course that's too old to compete in the current field of GT3 cars. So the GTR is a favorite of mine. Very fast in this with the straight line speed it has, but it's very heavy, and just like the Mercedes, cornering is not its best feature. And I would like to see some more BMWs, because the M6 is a really nice car. I wonder if Project Cars is going to introduce the new BMW, because as of next year there will be an M8 GT3, which will be perfect for the TNGTC, because everybody is going mate, and especially when we're texting, it's M888. So the M8 would be a perfect car for the TNGTC. Also a very beautiful car to see. But for now, the M6 is doing well, and it's a shame that in online events there's only a possibility for 16 cars. And in most GT3 races, of course, you have, well, up to 30 cars or more. I would love to see that online, but that's simply not possible on PS4. Well, we're 16 laps in, and I think we'll see the first stops within 10 laps. Usually on a not even a full tank, you can do about 25 laps. The tires will start going down, the degrading after about 15 to 20 laps. So we'll see who hit the pits first, and if we'll see some undercuts. Although I don't think they are really close enough for a decent undercut. Because as you can see here, well, Gaz and Liam are pretty close, about a second or two. Liam and Adam are about 2.5 seconds apart. But then there's a gap of 10 seconds between Adam and Jamie. So that's quite big. So an undercut for Jamie, well, he should have a really miraculous pit stop, or Adam should have a really bad pit stop. But I don't think an undercut will make a big difference here. And then it's from Jamie to Ben is 8 seconds, sorry. And then Benji is closing in. He is only 2.8 seconds apart from Ben, sorry. Yeah, about 2.5, 3 seconds. So he has Ben in sight. And then we have Skanky, who is about 5 seconds away from Benji. He has doesn't have the best race ever. He's a very, very good driver, but usually he should be somewhere in the mid-pack, not at the end, at the back of the race. And then we have, here we have Skanky, currently even last. He had some bad luck this race. Already had the incident in turn 1 in the first lap, and he just spun out. So he's not having a great day, probably. It's frustrating, you know. I don't know. I heard damage was going to be off. I haven't seen any damage on cars, so it looks like it is off. But to have to be kicked or hit in turn 1 in the first lap will definitely affect your race. And then making some mistakes in the first part of the race, yeah, that's very, very frustrating. And then when you're a minute and 12 seconds behind the race leader with still an hour and a half to go, yeah, that's not something you're looking forward to. Okay, so meanwhile we are at lap 18 and Oz is still extending his lead. He had I'm just baffled for a minute. He's just so fast. He's now 15 seconds ahead of Gaz. And I think Gaz has an issue with deteriorating tires because he is not extending his lead on his teammate Liam, who now has his teammate in the Audi in sight. You can see going through the fast chicanes. Nicely done. Liam is also a very good driver. He has become a very steady driver. Went from mid-pack a couple of seasons ago to top of the pack, usually ending very close or just in front of his teammate Gaz. This is a very consistent and fast team. This BMW is very powerful. You heard Liam being very careful with throttle in turn 2. That's because it's so powerful. If you just hit the accelerator a bit too much, you just spin out. And probably most drivers will have turn traction control off completely, which is actually the other way around in this game. If you set your traction control to 100%, it's not working. So you turn it off by turning it to 100%. That was well, that was really messing with our minds when this game came out. We had to find out what was causing the traction control to be this aggressive, because on Project Cars 1 we had no assists whatsoever, so no traction control, no ABS. That was all turned off for the league. Of course, damage on, full damage on. But when the new game came out, the Project Cars 2, it was we set traction control to 0, and it was just full on. So I don't know what they were thinking making this game. If someone can explain me, please do, because I don't get it. But anyway, you set the traction control to 100%. ABS, it's optional, but most drivers have some form of ABS on. If you turn off ABS, well, it's very hard braking, especially in corners like these. And as we speak, you can see that Liam is managing his tires very well, because he is only about a second away from Gaz, reeling it in lap by lap. So we'll see who will enter the pits first. Gaz had to brake there. Usually it's just lifting, so maybe he made a mistake, but it could be his driving style. Very late braking here for the fast chicane. You can see that Liam is just reeling him in there. Is he able to get a lift, a tow from Gaz? He is really close, only half a second behind. Trying to go the inside. We are for turn 3, very tight. Going a bit wide there. And in the back we can see Adam. There's only 2 seconds behind. And you can see Oz's lead. If you're looking at the top left of your screen, there's almost extended his lead to almost 20 seconds. In Formula 1 that would be almost a complete pit stop, but the pit stop here is quite a bit longer, even if you just change tires. Let's have a quick look at the back. I see we lost another driver. Actually, we lost 2 drivers, with only 8 drivers left now. And it's Matt, aka Skanky, who probably retired. And I'm still figuring out who else we lost. Well, not thinking about that too long, because once you disconnect or once you retire, it's game over. So we have someone in the pits. I think that's probably Matt. Here it's very close. Ben is trying to make a move, but he is too far. Scooby is... Oh, that was Benji spinning out. Back to Liam. He's still about a second behind Gaz. You can see that the Audi... I've seen a couple of Audis now spin out in turn 1. That's probably because the turn goes down and to your right. It's almost like a JFK movie. Only then it was to the back and to the left, and now it's down and to the right. Anyway, so with the engine in the back and the Audis going down, braking hard, and then a hard right. It's not something the engine likes, and the rear tends to snap out if you step on the accelerator too early. Let's head back to Liam, who's still hunting down Gaz, wanting to beat his teammate, or at least overtake him for that second spot on the podium. And meanwhile, Gaz has extended, Oz has extended his lead to a 21-second lead over Gaz, who's really fighting to stay on the same position. And because he is defending, he is allowing Oz to extend his lead any further. Even further, I mean. So he's almost in a 23-second lead. But I can imagine that Gaz doesn't want to give up his second place. And now it's just a race to who will pit first. Of course, he wants Liam to pit first. And Liam is just probably staying on Gaz's tail until he pits. It looks like Liam's tires are a bit better right now, so maybe he can push and go for 1 or 2 more laps when Gaz is in and trying to gain some more time. Then again, if he tries an undercut, he could win some time when Gaz goes into the pits. He is too far away now to try and overtake him in turn 1. The only thing he can hope for is that... Oh, and he just spun out and lost the position to Adam, who is now in 3rd. I would have not seen that coming. That was unexpected. I was just about to say that he was probably waiting or hoping for Gas to make a mistake or spin out in turn 1 because he's in an Audi with that heavy engine in the back. And then he spun out himself and lost the position to Adam, who is now about 2 seconds away from Liam. And let's go to Ben, who is close to Jamie right now. And going through this part downhill, along right-hander. And here we are going to one of my favorite parts of the track. Here are the Schumacher S's. And where will he make a move? I think he's going to try in turn 1. He is definitely not in an advantage on the straights. He can only hope for a toe on the back straight and on the start-finish straight, because that Mercedes is very powerful. And okay, so Jamie is going inside, and he is the first to pit for the regular pit stops. So expecting about 70 laps. This will be the first of 2 stops. And we are now 45 minutes into the 2-hour endurance. And here we are with Scooby, who is now on the tail of Benji. Benji is not having his best race ever too. Just like Skanky, he had a couple of spins in the beginning of the race. And now he is battling with Scooby for 6th position. Benji currently in 6th and Scooby in 7th. Both cars are not the best in straight line speed, but in cornering they're pretty okay. The Lamborghini, I haven't driven it since the latest patch, but I remember from the beginning when the game just came out, it's very good in cornering. The back tends to snap out every now and then because of the engine in the back, but it's a very, very cool car to drive. Also very, very sexy car. It's really an Italian car. And here we see Benji going into the pits, the second one for a regular pit stop. Meanwhile, back at the front, here we have Adam still in 3rd, trying to catch Gaz. He is slowly getting away from Liam, so I think Liam's chase of Adam cost him the best of his tires. So it's just, I think he's just waiting for the other two to come in. Benji's still in the pits. Probably refueling, yes. So, will his strategy be first pit stop on a half tank and now gas up for 2 stints without refueling? And he's off. So that was a pretty long pit stop, but I think his strategy is he has done his refueling, and now he only has to pit in about 25 laps for tires, and then make hopefully make up a couple of spots there. And here we are with the race leader, who is now 20 seconds away from Gaz. So he's as many seconds away from the number 2 as he is in laps. No, he's not 27 laps away, of course, but he is in his 27th lap. And now going through the final turn, I mean the bit curve is that up through the fast chicanes onto the final corner, the Coca-Cola curva. In lap 28, and he's still out. How many laps will he continue before he enters the pits? So right now we had Benji, who entered the pits. We had Jamie, who entered the pits, and those are the first 2 stops we've seen so far. You can see that they both have been lapped while in the pits. Am I right? Yes, because here's Oz. Now going through what's the Ford curve. And Jamie is now going through the Ford curve. So both Benji and Jamie have been lapped. Here we are with Scooby, also still out, and Liam has decided to pit from 3rd place, while Adam is really slowly gaining on Gaz. So Gaz must have some tire issues, but that's not that strange because we are racing now for 28 laps. That's almost 55 minutes, almost an hour, without pit stops. Well, without everyone having stopped once. So we've done over the distance of a single feature race, where a pit stop is mandatory. And here it's not mandatory, but you simply have to, because you won't be able to finish the race on a full tank. You have to refuel somewhere. And they both enter the pits. And we'll keep an eye on Liam while these guys are going into the pits, and we'll stay with these guys to see who comes out first. This was really smart from Adam because he was really close, and now he is even closer. Let's see who does the best pit stop. Let's switch to Gaz here. Currently still in second. And if I go to the cockpit view, or here we can see both cars. And let's see, they're still both in the pits. Where is Liam? Liam is almost at the... And Adam is out. Adam is out, and Gaz is out as well. So they didn't gain or lose anything, both of them. This could become quite a battle if Adam is able to keep up with Gaz, and race leader Oz has come into the pits. Where's Liam? How far is he away from Adam? He's about 5 seconds. So none of them really gained or lost any time during the pit stops. Here we are with Adam and Gaz. Excuse me. Okay, so Adam is 1.2 seconds away from Gaz. Let's get on board, trim for a little while. I love this part. Just full throttle all the way up to the chicanes. And brake here. Nicely done by Adam. Let's see his speedometer. Going to 30, almost to 40 on the straight here. Very tricky to brake here with these Audis. With that turn. Going so fast, braking as late as possible. But you start braking just when the road starts going down. And especially with an engine in the back, it's very hard not to spin out. So almost all drivers are on home soil if you look at the manufacturer, because well, of course Audi is a German manufacturer. We have a Mercedes on track. We have a BMW on track, which is actually Mercedes and BMW are the two big manufacturers on this track. And then there are the two Lamborghinis, which are German, but now also part of the Volkswagen company, if I'm right. So also part German. Anyway, back to the race. Adam has caught up just a bit, is now within a second of Gaz. That's not enough for a decent slipstream, so the only thing he can do is try to stay close enough and hope for a mistake by Gaz. but knowing Gaz, he can hope and hope and hope, but that probably won't really happen. Meanwhile, Leon has fallen back to about 10 seconds, so he must have spun somewhere. Okay, let's see how the others are doing. Scooby is now currently in third, but remember he still has to pit. And Oz did a great job because he has pitted, but he's even further away from Gaz and Adam than he was before. So he probably did a very short pit stop. Maybe he didn't refuel and the others did. That could be a difference. He's now almost 40 seconds, has a 40-second lead over Gaz, who is in virtual second place. And here we have Ben Scooby in the pits. His teammate Ben in 33 Lamborghini, currently in second position, but still has to go for his first pit stop. So he will fall back to fourth, fifth, maybe even sixth position, somewhere around that place. But considering he has a flu right now, has been struggling with being ill all week, he's doing pretty well. With we are over the half of the race. We have had 1 hour of driving in this 2-hour endurance at the Nürburgring, the GP layout, or maybe we should call it the TNGTC layout. This was, oh, and Ben is going in as well. Entering the pits. Okay, and back to Adam and Gaz. Adam is getting closer. He's now only 7/10 behind Gaz. So if he has a good exit at the final turn, he might get some lift off of Gaz. Try to get even closer. Maybe for these cars they should make some DRS as well, like in Formula 1 and DTM. You know, the cars, especially when the balance of performance is so close, these cars are so fast, overtaking is becoming harder and harder. So you have to think of a way to encourage overtaking while keeping the sport interesting. So I think a DRS system, a drag reduction system, would be a great extra feature in this series. This would give the drivers the opportunity to get closer, and like this, Adam should be able to get even closer. Personally, I think they should be able to use it a couple of times, like almost like in DTM. You can use your DRS 3 times in 1 lap. You can use it 1 time, but every time you use it during a lap, you lose 3 options to use it. So it doesn't matter if you just use 1 or 3, you lose 3 every lap you use it. And you have a set number of uses of DRS. So I think, for instance, it's like somewhere like 18 times during 55 minutes. So it's like just a turbo, just like a boost. You should be able to use it whenever you like, I think. And once you're out of your DRSs, well, then it's done. You can't use it anymore. You can try to overtake. Well, the thing is, of course, that if you can use it whenever you want, you can also use it to defend. But maybe they should widen the gap. Currently, you have to be within a second of the one in front of you. Maybe they should make that like 3 or 4 seconds, so you can use the DRS to get closer for a couple laps and then try to overtake him with the DRS without the other one being able to use it as well. Anyway, those are my thoughts on DRS. If you have any other views about it, let me know. Do you think they should introduce DRS to the GT3 classes, or even other classes, or, well, let's just say to all racing classes, maybe except for rally racing, but all track racing should be allowed to have DRS? Just let me know. And Adam is about 1 second away, so he lost some time there. Our Gaz made up some time, but they're still close. Meanwhile, we can see that everyone has pitted now. Gaz is 40 seconds away after 35 laps. Both Gaz and Adam have had quite a long pit stop, apparently, compared to Oz. So maybe they refueled as well, and Oz didn't. But then again, then he will have to refuel in his next pit stop. And Liam was only about 5 seconds away from Adam when Adam and Gaz rejoined the track, and is now in 10 seconds behind Adam, but also about 10 seconds in front of Jamie. So quite the no man's land, and he just cut the corner there. Don't know if he cut it or if it was lag, but it looked like he just went a bit wide coming out of that corner, so cut the second part of the Schumacher S's. Here we have Scooby and Ben Milden, both back in 7th and 8th position after the pit stops. So here you can see the difference. Ben, who was in 2nd place before the his pit stop, is now back in 7th. And here we have Benji, currently in 8th. He will not be happy about this place, even though he will score some points if he finishes in this position. he has become a very fast driver. He was mid-pack 2 to 3 seasons ago, but he just switched the button, switched the knob, and became a very fast driver. He had his first victory at Suhai 2, 3 seasons ago, and since then he has been on the podium quite often. So he has become very fast, but has not been lucky this race. So he's now in last position. Currently last because there are only 8 drivers left. We started with 15, and we had a disconnect because of a bad connection. We also had a couple of retirements. Diogo disconnected because of a huge lag. We had Jeremy, who disconnected pretty early. Don't know if he retired or if he disconnected. We had Killer Ramsey, who disconnected. Don't know if that was intentional or if he just retired or it was a connection error. We had Skanky, who retired, spun out, didn't have a really good start. Started in the back and got hit by Diogo in turn 1. Spun it after in a couple of laps later. So he retired, gave up. And then we have Benji, who started pretty well, was in 4th after 2 laps, but spun out and ended up almost in the back. And back then it was 12th position. So he had a hard time since then. And I'll be taking a short break, about a minute. I'll be back, and I'll leave you with these guys for now, and I'll be back in a couple of seconds. So see you in about a minute. Here okay, so I'm back, and you have been watching Adam chasing gas for the past minute while I was getting some refreshments. And alright, so far we have been racing for an hour and 15 minutes. Currently in the lead, a very strong lead, too. That is Oz in the 64 Audi. He has a lead of 47, 48 seconds, 49 seconds. 48 seconds over gas after 39 laps, which is quite a lot. Excuse me. So yeah, he is really, you can see he's now over 49 seconds. My guess is, well, I can see because the speedo is still on, and you can see he has 69 liters of fuel, and Gaz and Adam both have about 90 liters, so they will be going on with these tanks until the end of the race. And Gaz will probably have to refuel, which will cost him quite amount of time. So they will be able to get closer. I don't think though that they'll get close enough to claim victory. So Oz must have well, not the most exciting race. He has been leading the race from the start. He's been very dominant these past couple of races. He's just too fast. I don't know how he does it. He's so fast. You can see that he's usually over half a second to a full second faster than the other top guys like Gaz and Liam. Let's go back to the battle for second. Gaz and Adam. Adam is still within a second of Gaz, but not able to get any closer. If he gets within half a second, within 3/10, he has the opportunity to get a nice lift and a nice slipstream from Gaz, and he might be able to try to overtake him here coming up to the first turn or coming up to the chicanes. Although with the fast chicanes that we are using right now, it's pretty hard to overtake there, almost impossible actually. But we made a decision to not use the official chicanes, the tight ones, because there were a lot of problems since the new patch with the high curves. And here he is within half a second of Gaz, and will he be able? This is too short of a, well, it's not actually a straight. This corner is very tight. You need to get a good exit out of here. You could get close during these Schumacher S's, going through, and they both gone a bit, cut a corner a bit there. And usually these two corners are very important. If you get a good exit here, and if you're close enough, which is Adam is not right now, but if you are within 300 and with a tight chicane, you have an opportunity to overtake. But we're now in the using the faster chicanes, so actually the only good point for staging your overtake is here at the end of the straight going into turn 1. He is just over half a second away from Gaz, and that's just too far away. He should get within. Well, this is a good one. Gaz made a mistake coming through turn 1, and Adam is on his tail. Let's join him in the cockpit, both going wide there, coming out of turn 4. Let's get the speedo back. And he is still within half a second. This is an important corner. Doing a good job. Gaz has a better exit. You can see, does he lift? He lifts, yes. Depending on the car, you can do it full throttle there. And he needs a good exit here. You can see that Gaz is really good in the middle sector. And he's now 8/10 away, so that's too far for setting up a nice overtake at the end of the next straight. He gained some time here. He needs a good exit. Too far away. Yeah, you can see that Gaz is just so good at that second sector. Yeah, that was a big chance for Adam, but couldn't make it stick. Let's see how the others are doing. Here we are with Oz with a 51-second lead. That's about half a lap. And Liam in the BMW still in 4th. Still 10 seconds away from Adam. Not being able to get any closer. So is that the pace of the BMW? Because he was going quite the same speed as the Audis, and he has about the same amount of fuel in his car, but he's not able to get any closer, even though Gaz and Adam are battling for that second place. And Adam probably made a slight mistake because he is now 1.7 seconds away from Gaz, so that gives Gaz a bit of room to breathe and try to get away from Adam. Going a bit further back, and here we are with Scooby, one of the two drivers in the Lamborghini. Both Lamborghini drivers are teammates and also pretty close to each other. There's only a 2-second difference between them. Almost a 3-second gap. Scooby in the 78 Lamborghini, and Ben in the Demon Tweaks Lamborghini 33. And he did that just for me, probably, because he knows I'm a Max Verstappen fan, and Max Verstappen is driving the number 33 car in Formula One. I'm not the biggest Max Verstappen fan. He's a great driver, and I'm not saying that because he's Dutch, but he is a great driver, and he probably will be a world champion one day. Here we are with Jamie, currently in 5th, and he and Liam are the first non-Audi cars on track. So Jamie is doing pretty well in the Mercedes. Even though he's 5th and almost a minute and a half away from the race leader, but it's just that Oz and Gaz are so fast, and Adam is keeping up very well. He's doing really, really good. He had some, well, unfortunate races. So yeah, I think he deserves this place, and very good to see him battling for a podium. Well, actually he's on the podium, but battling for second. Here we are with Benji, currently in last place, 8th position. Still good for a couple of points though. He is about 10 seconds from Ben. So another pit stop could get him a position if he has a really fast pit stop. And how is his tank? He's on 68. Oz is on 53. And Gaz and Adam are on 75. So I'm wondering if Benji will have enough fuel for the rest of the race, or if he needs to do a splash and dash. In that case, he won't have a very quick pit stop. So I think unless something happens on track, I think this will be it for Benji. Let's go back to Adam and Gaz. Adam has made up the time, and he's only half a second away from Gaz, so the battle continues. Meanwhile, Oz is extending his lead, now up to 55 seconds. That's probably a full pit stop if you only switch tires. Here we are with Adam with the roof cam. Tricky corner, very tight hairpin. Going through the Schumacher S's. and full throttle. He's 7/10 away. You can see that Gaz is still slightly better in this second sector, but this is a very important sector. Nice corner by Adam. And now this could be a real opportunity. Not the best exit, and he is losing time. Now he is gaining a bit, but he's too far away. As you can see, very tricky corner there. Turn 3. It always feels longer than it actually is, or at least you think, oh, here's the exit, here's the exit, here's the exit, and it doesn't come. Or to me it feels that way. They're very close, but you can see that, especially during during the cornering, the car tends to snap out. So now he's back to half a second, and I'm wondering if that's a lag problem or that there's just an enormous amount of cutting corners there, which actually, well, in this case, Adam just probably gone wide because he's now about a second away from Gaz. So cutting there definitely won't gain you any time. That's too bad. Oh, I said it again. I mean, hashtag that's too bad. And now he has to fight his way back. And here we are with some action with Ben and Jamie. Just in time to see the overtake. Too bad I can't do a replay. But Ben just overtook Jamie for 6th position. But as you can see, Jamie is not giving up. And Jamie is entering the pits again for his second stop. So that's a problem with the AMG. It doesn't handle corners too well, so it probably eats up the front tires, especially the left one on this track. So Ben in 6th position. Back to Adam. Gained a bit of time there. While Oz extended his lead to over a minute. He's doing such a great job. It's not very exciting, but it is definitely a compliment to Oz to see how he does this and how steady his pace is. He just keeps on going. And there he is, flashing his lights to Mr. Milden in the Lamborghini, letting him know that he is coming to overtake him, to lap him. He's still quite some distance. Ben should let him pass once he gets there. Flashing his lights again, and Ben will probably let him pass at the next straight over start finish. Oh, whoa! and Ben just spun out, and Oz couldn't avoid him anymore. It's a good thing damage is off, or this could have ruined his race. Wow, that was a freak accident. Meanwhile, back at the battle for second, Adam is back to only 6/10 of a second from gas, so he might be able to try and overtake within a couple laps, although I doubt it. Like I said, it's hard to overtake here with the tight chicanes gone for this race. There's actually only one good place for overtaking, and Adam has a good exit here. Let's see how he does. He's close, 4/10. Not gaining enough. 3.5, 2.5. Will he be able to make a switch back? Oh man, Gaz made a mistake, but held on to that first place. He just blocked him there. Great defending by Gaz. Adam going wide there. Back to half a second behind him. And he has to stay close to get a chance to overtake. He has to stay within that half second, which he does. It's now on to the second sector, which is the part where Gaz is usually faster. So he has to keep up pace. You can see Gaz is slowly getting away here. So this is the part where Gaz is faster, but the other two sectors, Adam is faster. So you can see that sort of harmonica effect between those two, and it's just enough for Gaz to stay in second place. And Adam is really close now again. Get that good exit. Half second away. Not enough. It's just too far to get a good slipstream out of it. And meanwhile, these two are battling. You can see at the top center of your screen that Adam is 3/10 away from Gaz, and that Liam has caught up. He was about 10 seconds behind Adam, and he's now only about 6 seconds behind. So while these two are battling for second, there might be a third in the battle for second place in a couple of laps. And these two are battling, which will cost their already degrading tires. And I think they should go for another pit stop within 5 laps, maybe 10 laps. Let's see how their amount of fuel is. Still 60 liters, so they won't need to stop for fuel anymore. Just a quick change of tires, and that will be enough for the rest of the race. So they might try an undercut. That would be interesting. I would love to see Adam do an undercut and try to overtake Gas that way, but they don't. I just think he'll follow him back into the pits again. They probably set their strategies, let their pit crew know what kind of tires and what pressures they want. 6/10 away, it's just too far. Meanwhile, Oz's lead has gone back to about 57 seconds because of that weird crash with Ben in the chicanes. Ben spun out there just as I was saying that he was probably going to let him by on the start-finish straight, which he probably would have done. And it's not like Ben to spin out there, but like I said before, Ben is dealing with the flu right now, so maybe after an hour and 45 minutes I can imagine that will take its toll. It's hard enough to concentrate for 2 full hours, let alone when you're sick. Let's see how they will do here. Gaz will need a good exit out of this corner, which he does. Got 7/10. Adam's not able to get closer here, but he doesn't here, and now this is the most crucial point. He needs that good exit. Just gone too wide, and he's just too far to get a grip on Gaz and try to overtake him in turn 1. So he has to wait for about 2 minutes more until they arrive at turn 1 again to see if he's close enough. Meanwhile, these two are keep battling. Let's see, Jamie is now in the final spot. That's because he already made his second pit stop. And he has 36 liters of fuel, so that should be enough to finish the race with just over 15 minutes to go. The rest still has to make its pit stop. Benji, currently in 7th, still has to do his second pit stop. He has enough fuel, but he probably will need some tires. Sir Milden now a bit closer. Now a bit closer to Benji because of that spin in the chicanes where he almost took out Oz. If not, if the damage would have been on, which is weird. We don't like to race with damage off, but those chicanes were so unsettling for the car that we decided with some of the glitches in the game, damage on at this track is not very wise. Ooh, Ben just go right there. And where are those two? Going through turn 3, sorry. Going wide again there. That's also a thing in the new game. I don't know if that's me or just if they are going wide deliberately, but when you're in the car, at least in the cockpit view, it's like you feel like you're going slightly over the line and then you go over the line with four wheels. To me, it feels that way, at least. So if you race with rules and penalties on, you will get, they won't count your laps every time, because when you think, okay, now I'm just on the line, you're way over it. Also, one of the reasons why we don't use the rules during the races. Adam now is 1.5 seconds away from Gaz. So, are his tires gone? Will they go for another pit stop, or will they go on for 13 more minutes? So that's 13 minutes, that's 7 laps. So we have about 62 laps to go. Oz's lead has gone back to over a minute now. And here we have Liam going wide in turn 2. See, he also goes wide there. So they're lucky there's not a live race director who can give out penalties for exceeding track limits. If the rules would work properly, that would be a lot better, because you don't have to watch the race. It's impossible to watch the complete race. Sorry about that. It's, a 2-hour endurance is also pretty heavy on the commentator. But yeah, with only one screen and no data, it's practically impossible to direct the whole race. So I hope they will fix the rules so we can turn them on. But it's just not for a league with fair and clean racing, and some battles where you have to sometimes go off track to avoid collision. That shouldn't be penalized, so they need to figure that out. So there's still quite some work for the guys making Project Cars 2. So if you are listening by any chance, please fix those and some other issues, because it's not fit for racing yet. There are too many bugs, too many issues with the online part, with the race director part, the automated race director, I must say. And I think Adam's tires are gone, because he's been away from Adam for a couple of laps now. From Gaz, sorry. With only 10 minutes on the clock, so time's ticking away, and I think we won't see any more stops by this man, Oz, in the lead with 1 minute and 4 seconds. That is over half a lap. Adam is gaining a bit though, and Liam is still about 5 seconds away. So while Adam and Liam were battling, Liam took advantage and closed the gap a bit, but he is still too far away to make a serious move. But then again, kudos to him for being the first non-Audi driver in the top 5, followed by Scooby, who is battling his own teammate. Here's the Scooby-Naldo GT battle going on for 5th, with Scooby in the lead, Ben right behind him. And that was a very tight, oh, sorry about that. Very tight corner by Scooby, defending the inside line. And as you can see, everyone's going wide there. It is a very tricky corner. You definitely gain some time there if you just go wide a bit. You can see Ben taking an alternative line just to see if he's faster than Scooby. And here he is, just too far away from Scooby, but he is close, 3/10. So that's good, that's good. Here you can get a nice toe. Right into the slipstream, and he's only 2/10 away through the chicanes onto the final corner. Here they are, and this is where the exit is so important. I've said it before, and he is in the right position for a nice slipstream, but it's too far away. He could only hope he can pressure Scooby into a mistake. But so far Scooby's holding on to his 5th place. Going back to Adam and Gaz in their battle for 2nd. Gaz is still just over a second away. Can Adam get any closer in those last 6 minutes of the 2-hour endurance? Will he be able to make a move before the checkered flag? That is the question. Back to the other battle. Ben has fallen behind a bit more. About 7/10 now. Through the chicane. It's getting close here. Get that good exit. That's a good one. That's a good one. 4/10 away is too far. Scooby will be able to hold that. Like the Audi, the Lamborghini has the engine in the back. and it's a mid-mounted engine, but in a corner like that it's just hard. Heavy braking and a very, very sharp corner means that the car is tending to snap out. Just hit the throttle a bit too optimistically and you'll spin out. We've seen that happen to a couple of Audis during the race, and that could cost you a lot of time. Ben is doing his best to catch up with Scooby. He is within half a second, so we'll see some nice battling in the last 3.5 minutes. Lost some time there through the Schumacher S's. Here we are with Adam, 2.5 behind Gaz. That's too far. And behind him you could briefly see Benji, his teammate, but Benji is not in 4th. He has been lapped. Let's go back to the action. And that is pretty close. 4/10. No, it's too far away. He is closing in. Is it enough? No, it's not. Trying to do... No. Let's just join Ben on board. This is what I mean. If you're inside the car, if you see that outside line, I would say that you're only with 2 wheels over the line, but no, you're way with 4 wheels over the line. And Scooby goes wide there. This is the chance for Ben. This one. But he is on the outside. This is very tricky. As Scooby holds his position, you want to battle, but you don't want to hit your teammate. This still is 4 points. And he is giving him some room. But he should have taken advantage of that mistake. And there he is, almost a second gone now. I understand, you don't want to battle your teammate, or you don't want to lose your teammate in a race. They have enough space because Jamie is about 50. Oh, and there goes Ben. Again, in the chicanes. Well, there goes his chance for 5th. He should have grabbed 5th there. He didn't, and then he made a mistake, giving it all up. Back to Adam, who is now 2 seconds behind Gaz, so I don't think there's gonna be a lot of stuff happening there. Let's go back to the race leader, Oz, with the lead of 1 minute 12 seconds. An amazing drive by the American. One last time for him through the Schumacher S's. And when in 5 seconds we have done 2 hours of racing. This is it. I actually don't know in this race if this will be the final lap or we will enter the final lap right now. There he is overtaking Benji. Going through the chicanes. The final turn. I think this is it. Yes. And Oz takes the win. Dominant once again. Very dominant. And here we are with the number 2 and 3. Still 2 seconds lead, so if he doesn't make any mistake, he is going to claim that second step on the podium. Closely followed by Adam in third. And you can hear Jamie is in front of them in his Mercedes. And here are the victory donuts. But let's go back to Gaz. We're now going through the final piece on the back straight. And going through the chicanes for the final time. Jamie's signaling, get past, and there it is. Gaz in second, Adam in third. Great drive by Adam. Liam in the back, finishing fourth. And that's it. That's the race. So, here are the results. And I will have to save these. Okay, there I'm back. I had to save. Yeah, I had to save the screenshot with the standings. So that's it. Oz in first, Gaz second, Adam third. Great drive by all the guys. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. This was the 2-hour endurance at Nürburgring GP layout, round 14 of the Thursday night GT Championship by on RaceDepartment PS4 Project Cars 2. My name is Frank. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and hope to see you after the summer break, the Christmas break, of course, when we will be back for round 15. Let me look it up, which one that is. I haven't done my homework. That will be the Red Bull Ring. So once again, thank you for watching, and hope to see you in about 2 weeks. Alright, see you later.